Welcome to World of Marketing Podcast, a Foster Web Marketing production. Here's your host, Tom Foster.
Hey everybody, here we are for the World of Marketing. That's what I do. And here we are, this is episode 9, and this is like truly special. This is like a sighting, like we've seen the UFO. We have Bill Voss here today. And Bill Voss, who's being humble, so I'm going to tease him a little bit. He is like one of the most successful guys we've had, and we can't even count how long you've been with us. I think it's over 8 or 9, 10 years.
Yep.
And it's Voss Law Firm. That's the law firm that you run. That's your firm down in Houston, north of Houston.
That's right.
And you've just done a killer job. It's one of my favorite website designs. So Thomas will show that. That's the Voss Law Firm. We'll throw that up. And it's one of, if we've had it on our booth, we use it in all our marketing. I don't know if you know this,
Yeah, I didn't. But
we always use that. And I love the way that it's laid out. And it was good. We talked to Kevin a little bit, who designed that for you, but just a great website, great relationship that we've had with you. And thanks so much for coming in to visit with us today, because I want to pick your brain, because you're not just a very successful plaintiff attorney, you're an entrepreneur. And you're very much of an entrepreneurial thinker, which a lot of people that listen to this podcast are. I am, and so we've just been talking for 3 hours before this about all the stuff that you're doing, and I want to talk a little bit more about it, but welcome. Thank you for coming, Bill.
Well, listen, thank you. I really do appreciate the opportunity. I appreciate you having me in. And I think your listeners would agree with me, especially those trial lawyers. As a trial lawyer, we learn very early that we're only as good as our experts and the experts that we hire. Mm-hmm. Our job is just to present those experts well and walk them through things. I wouldn't be here today, certainly wouldn't have had the success I have today, especially related to my website and my law practice, if it wasn't for you and your company. And I say that very sincerely, and I think it does speak volumes that, look, I mean, with all of the noise and crowded space out there, that I've been with you so long and continue and will continue well into the future, working with you and your group. I always like to say, listen, you find a good mechanic, you keep the mechanic, right?
Well, that was you just turned the tables on me. That was you're going to get me misty. Thank you very much for saying that. I mean, that's what we're about here, and just doing a good job things have changed. You're doing a lot of different things. The thing that we're talking about, well, first of all, can I talk about these other projects that you're working on that have nothing to do with the law, but our listeners might be, I'm just going to rattle off some URLs.
Yeah, let's do it.
Okay. So one is that we were just talking about is the nationalguntrader.com, which is while you're in town here, part of it, and tell us a little bit about that.
Yeah, so look, we're really, really excited about it. We launched in January. We're going to probably go through a relaunch January of next year. Some really, really exciting things around the corner. But essentially what we've developed and launched is an Amazon-type community marketplace that's customer-driven. It has allowed us to go out to the market and attract not only retailers in the shooting sports and outdoor gear space, but also bring that community together into one marketplace so they can all interact.
And I'm not allowed to talk about it because I signed a disclaimer and all that with you, but the stuff that you're working on is mind-blowing, and I'm really looking forward to watching and maybe even participating in some of what you got going on with that entity. That's very, very cool. And so everybody it's not just guns, but it's anything. It's ammo and gear, and it's, accessories. It's all of it. And it's truly Amazon for if you're that kind of person. If you're not, then you have no interest anyway.
Well,
so go to Amazon.
That's right. Well, listen, it's it's we like to say camo underwear to firearms and everything.
Oh, that's good.
Everything in between. But you don't have to be a firearms enthusiast to participate.
Yeah.
Certainly, I mean, if you're a rock climber, we've got plenty of merchants there selling those sorts of products, all the way through firearm manufacturers that are going direct to consumer. So we did want to build a very robust marketplace that really speaks to the space, whether you're an outdoor guy or gal, or you're a firearms guy or gal, or anything in between. It is a marketplace that supports this space, unlike other marketplaces out there that I won't mention names,
Right.
that actually have a practice, policies, and procedures that actually discriminate against the space. So we're providing a true marketplace that goes without any discrimination. You can come and transact, interact, and all sorts of other awesome things. And I would just say, keep an eye out for a January relaunch of something that's even just.
And we'll talk about it for sure here at
incredibly
FWM.
fun. Yeah.
So proud. So that's one. Okay, so we have Voss Law Firm, and then we've got this one. So that's two things. So let's talk about the next thing, which is GMR Gold. What you've had, that's one of the things that we actually worked on early on, was the coin. So you have two coin gold websites. Tell me a little bit about that.
Yeah. So look, guns, gold, and God. And so I want to make sure we're covering all our bases. We own a precious metals retail e-com website, doing quite well. That has now expanded into what we call bullion box subscriptions. It's the first box subscription offering in the space. Super excited, just launched that last week. Tremendous partners in that in those efforts, and things are going real well. Incredible influencers that are getting behind it. And it plays well with the gun side as well, right? I mean, it's
and you should, like how you're doing cross marketing, which is brilliant, of course.
That's right. And so we wanted to make sure that we're covering our bases and speaking to our customers and delivering on our customers' needs.
Yes, he's a lawyer, everybody. Yeah, we're still talking to lawyer Bill Voss, who's also an entrepreneur. And so that's the third and fourth company. Right. And then the legal news, that's something that you just told me when we were walking down the hallway that we didn't get a chance to. So what is the legal news?
Well, the legal news right now, it's growing. It's a robust news platform that's directory driven. Mm-hmm. And what the desire is, as it gets better over time, the desire is to provide a place for small and medium law firms to get access to media, right? To in sort of a news-oriented media, right? Where they may not be able to get access to Fox News or CNN or something like that. Since we're so niche, we absolutely provide the vehicle so they can accomplish those goals, and they can do it in many different ways.
Is this how they can get media, or they post content there, or?
So they post content. They can post content. They can do not only post press releases of their own on that site. We'll actually distribute those press releases for them.
Okay.
We'll house them as well, host them as well. Any news at all about the firms or the lawyers within the firms, clients, cases, you name it, that typically wouldn't be newsworthy outside of, say, a niche platform like ours, we're a perfect place for that information to be distributed.
We'll talk more about that for sure.
Absolutely.
Okay. So I glossed over. Hold on. We have to have the fire engines and the ambulances go by. They're right down the street, so it's a great day for some people. All right. So, but the big thing, besides Voss Law Firm, which your experience at Voss Law Firm and running a legal practice that's really focused on insurance denial, right? So you have a very specific client that you want to work with based on your choice of the clients that you want to work with and how you've grown your firm. And as a result of that, being very specific, you found that you had to turn away a lot of cases and clients, which causes you pain because you actually care about people and taking care of people. And I'm saying this to all of you out here listening because I know that a lot of you that I've talked to, and I'm sure most of you feel this way, always this kind of frustration about turning away people in need, right?
Well, that's exactly right. Listen, most of us plaintiff lawyers, believe it or not, didn't get into this line of work for the money. We got into this line of work because we believe in David versus Goliath, right? And so there's a drive and a passion there to help people at our core. And I'm glad that that things have caught up to where we had there were meetings a week or two ago, Fortune 50 company CEOs. They come out of the meeting and they say, look, we've got this, just this great idea that we've all signed a paper and agreed to now finally, and we're going to start focusing on our customers instead of revenue and profits. And so, look, I mean, I started my firm 15 years ago based on that premise, right? I think if you help people, you're customer-centric. All of my companies are customer-centric companies. If you care about the customer, you do right by the customer, everything else will work itself out. And so, when you're making decisions, all of our decisions are made on one simple premise. What the answer to this decision must focus on and be absolutely laser pointed at what is in the best interest of the client, period.
So, that obviously begs the question is, when somebody calls it, you can't take, you just aren't going to do the case. What do you do with them? What's in the best interest of those people? You've paid for the lead to come there. You've somehow created that traffic to come there, and a lot of times you just can't take it. So, and you want to take care of them. What do you do? Yeah,
it's true. Look, let's start with the worst thing you can do.
Right.
The absolute worst thing you can do is just say no and move on with your business.
Yeah.
Because if you think about, if you put yourself in the customer's shoes, the customer has a real need in a real situation typically, and they finally think they found somebody that can help them. And it's a bold move, believe it or not, for that client to kind of make that first approach, reach out, and to get, the door essentially slammed in their face with no other options is the absolute worst thing you can do.
And they're going to go to Google and give you a crappy review, which they do.
Well, they can.
I've seen it.
They can, absolutely. That might happen. But I can guarantee you something else that might happen, that probably will happen, is the next time that client or that client's brother or sister has a need, they're not coming back to you.
Right.
Okay? And so you have to do
People don't like to be rejected.
No. And then look, and especially... Right. When they have something in a very sensitive nature, about why they're coming to you. They're coming, attorney-client privilege. They're coming to you so they can talk openly. So it's not only attorney. Always prepare for trial.
So do you go to trial a lot?
I don't anymore.
You have people that do that for you?
Yeah, I have a trial going on right now.
Oh, that's cool.
In Dallas. And I think we're going to get a verdict Friday. And so we're, we'll see how that goes.
How many cases are you running through your firm usually?
What's interesting about us is...
You're good? Okay.
Do we want to go back to...
Just tell me this one.
Yeah, so here's the evolution. The evolution is we used to handle a ton. I mean, I think we've, relatively speaking, right, for the size of our firm, we've helped over 5,000 clients, probably have collected close to $1 billion in settlements and verdicts. But about 2 years ago or so, maybe going on 3, I brought everybody in and I said, look, we're not going to do just a ton of cases anymore, right? We're going to go
selective.
We're going to go from a niche to a niche within the niche. And if you think about like an ice cream cone, what I did was I said, look, we're going down to the very bottom, the point of that ice cream cone. And those are the cases we're going to take. And so much fewer, better quality, larger margins, takes longer to get resolved, but when they do, it's better for everybody, including the client. And so we don't handle near as many anymore. So again, created a real need for a Hire Me legal platform.
Okay, I want to talk. Okay, we got to get back on that. All right, so where did we end?
We were talking about when the client comes to you, the absolute worst thing that you can do is just say no and slam the door in their face.
All right. Are we recording? Okay, go ahead.
And so, again, the very worst thing you can do is slam the door in the client's face and just say no. And I was mentioning that, they don't only call us attorneys, right? We're attorneys and counselors of law, right? So if you put yourself in the client's shoes, they come to us for especially as plaintiff's lawyers, they come to us for a certain amount of counseling, right? What does that mean? That means that they're giving you the utmost trust, right?
Yeah.
To the point where that's why attorney-client privilege exists. You want them to be like a doctor, right? I mean, you want them to be completely open and honest with you.
And nobody wants to talk to you.
But when that's right. When they decide to make that commitment to you as a lawyer, and all you do is slam the door in their face, is the absolute worst thing you can do.
100%. And they're looking for empathy.
That's right.
They're you guys do this every day of your life, like it's, like a brain surgeon does surgery, no big deal. But like if you did that, you'd be overwhelmed. But that's
what people may not know is, and I'm sure that they can respect this, is that even with lawyers, right, there's a certain amount of bedside manner that you should have with your clients, period. Those lawyers...
Even non-clients, as we're talking about here.
Everybody. And so those lawyers, especially in a firm like mine, that have no bedside manner don't end up making it at my law firm. So on a weekly basis... Are
you hiring?
I'm always hiring.
Oh.
On a weekly basis, my lawyers are reminded of one very, very simple fact. That is, every client you have has to feel like they're your only client, period.
Right.
That client needs it. They deserve it. They deserve it. They deserve your full attention, your full energy, your full resources. They have hired you to win, right? And you treat that client, I don't care if you've got 12 clients on your docket or 1,200. Each and every one of those clients should feel like they are the only client you have, right?
Are you a tough boss, Bill Voss?
I don't know. Ask my employees. I mean, no, listen.
You're very passionate. So like when you said that, you were like serious business.
Because I mean it.
Yeah.
Because it's not BS. I mean, I really mean it. And look, it's also very simple, right? I mean, without those clients, those lawyers would not have a job.
That's true.
Right?
That's so true.
Let's treat them like that. Right? Let's treat them like that. And so if my lawyers aren't calling people back, if they're not responding to emails, if they're not treating clients the way I think those clients should be treated, then they don't last very long with me.
Do you have lawyers that last a long time with you?
I do.
Because you look for them.
Well, look, I try, and I do this in all of my businesses, right? I mean, I try to identify whether you're going to be an asset or a liability, period. I mean, if you're an asset, you stick. If you're a liability, you're gone, and you're gone quick.
That makes me feel better.
Good. Good.
That makes me feel even better.
Yeah.
Okay, so we were talking a little bit ago about your business decision, and I tell this to people all the time. You are a boutique firm. You're not a big Walmart firm that has to churn through cases just to keep paying the bills. That's great if you've grown to that point. That's great. But if you're a boutique firm like most people listening here, and you made a decision, you were just telling me years ago to, I don't know, stop the madness, to kind of like, you explain it. You said the very tip of the ice cream cone.
Yeah, if you think about an ice cream cone, the very, very bottom of the ice cream cone, right? I mean, that's where we've gotten. We're
hyper-niched.
We are niche within a niche.
Yeah.
And so we have a very specific client base that we serve. We do so in Texas and beyond. And it was the right decision for us. But what that really translated into, one thing that translated into, a whole lot of people contacting us that we were unable to help.
Yeah.
And we needed a solution to steer those people to the right place to get the help they need and deserve. Because, look, even again, the last thing we wanted to do is say no and slam the door, right? And if you don't have a network of lawyers, if you don't know family law lawyers and criminal defense lawyers and bankruptcy lawyers, and you have them in your Rolodex. I hired a lawyer, by the way, one time that literally did have all those contacts. But typically we don't, right? Because we're so focused on our lives and our business, right?
Do you run your own business?
Right. And so I wanted to develop a marketplace where those clients ultimately could go get help, right? And then the lawyers wouldn't be put in a position any longer where they would just have to say no and slam the door. They would provide a very valuable solution, alternate solution for those clients.
And so because I remember all the iterations of this, and when we went to this hyper niche. By the way, everybody, it's Voss Law Firm, so check it out because it's different than anything else out there. Like I said at the beginning, it's one of my favorite designs. Click on the different practice areas and click in there and see how it's even sub-niche down. There's a lot about conversion in this website that is different from a lot. There's other ones that have some of the features here, but it's a great example of a well conversion focused website. And that was, so as a result, we were just talking about how you want to take care of people that come, and it's one of your mandates, but at the same time you've trimmed down the practice to serve only a certain type of case. That's fine. That's up to you, and that's up to anybody that wants to do that. That's your right to do that. But the point is that we're making here is that you had to say, we're sorry we can't help you, to a lot of people. Not just anybody. Like, they might even be close to the practice area that you're, some personal injury, but you're not going to take the case. But we're talking about you either get other people that come to you for divorce, or other people that, your wife's friend that, or what, maybe I shouldn't have said that, but whatever.
That's okay.
The guys that you fish with that know that you're a lawyer, that are like, hey, I'm doing a Chapter 13, or I need an estate plan. It's not what you do. Yeah. But what you don't want to be like, I don't do that crap. Go to the internet.
Yep.
You want to keep that. You want to still serve them because you're kind and empathetic. So what do you do as a lawyer? Like you were saying, you either build your own network, which I know a lot of people have done very successfully, and that's great. But if you don't have that, like what Bill has invented here, and this is the big reveal that some of you may already be participating in, but it's Hire Me Legal. And so, Thomas, can you pull that up for us, hiremelegal.com, just so that people can see this? And I will. There's a new version coming.
That's right.
Okay, which has a whole lot more stuff we'll talk about that when it comes, which is pretty exciting.
And looks much better.
Yeah, but so the concept behind this is that this is where you can send people, clients that are looking for a lawyer, to have a good. Will you explain it? Why did you do it? You do it.
Yeah, sure. I certainly want the client to have as good of an experience in a troubling time in their life as possible, right? And ultimately you do that by connecting them with the right lawyer for them. And so essentially, instead of, if you imagine a client going out and searching around on the internet, look, all the internet is, and all that websites are, is modern day yellow pages, right? Yep. I mean, that's all they are. And yeah, back in the day, they'd flip through and probably call the personal injury with the best placed, largest ad, right? And so internet websites, very, very similar. But you never know what experience that client may have calling that particular lawyer, right? Look, there's enough lawyer jokes out there. There's enough people who dislike lawyers. A lot of times I tell people we're kind of like police officers at times, who there's a certain segment out there that, love them when they need them.
We love them.
Yeah, we do too.
Love them,
we support them, first responders, veterans. You wouldn't believe how we support those groups. But the point is, you love them when you need them, yes. Right? And so, plenty of lawyer jokes out there. But I want to make sure that clients who are looking for a lawyer, they have the best and most pleasurable experience, again, in a troubling time. So how do we do that, right? And how do we solve this problem of lawyers having to tell their clients no and slamming the door? Well, if a client comes to me, and we'll talk a little bit about how niche we are, just to give an example.
Sure.
And so we're policyholder lawyers, and so we represent policyholders who have an insurance claim that's been denied, delayed, or underpaid. That's how we help. And we used to help, anybody that had a decent claim that came through that we thought we could help. And that has grown into, allowed us to grow into a position where we're now representing mainly and mostly commercial property owners, and then even further down the niche, those that are portfolio owners around the country. We get all sorts of leads about
it's super hyper niche.
It is. And so my example is, we'll get a lead on a residential case as an example. And we typically, most of the time, won't take that case anymore. It's an outstanding case for
a lot of people.
But we're unable to service that client at this point in time. And so we need somewhere to send those folks to, right? And so built a marketplace, directory-driven marketplace, hiremelegal.com, where the client will go and they'll post their matter, post their issue, and lawyers within that niche, in that marketplace, will all get notice of that case and be able to go and look at it and submit their proposals for it. Again, what's coming in January is much, much, much even more exciting than that. But right now, it's the ability to not only participate in a directory, which I think you would you tell me all the time how important it is to be in various directories.
Oh yeah, and we were just talking about it before we started this. Well, we've been participating with you at the Hire Me Legal for quite a while. I think we kicked this off 2-3 years ago.
I think we did.
Yeah.
That's right. And
some of you that are listening are involved. I encourage everybody to get in on it before January, because things are going to change, right?
Well, I appreciate
but for the better. This is like a more customer first focused directory review site, not like Avo. Avo is really designed to get money from you, the lawyer. This is more about getting the client to the right lawyer.
Yeah, this is the anti-Avo.
Right.
So, listen, it is customer-centric, community-driven.
Yeah.
Customer-centric, community-driven. And so the community participates by not only posting their cases, but they would leave reviews for the lawyers, make comments about the lawyers as an example.
So it's a lot like, I don't like to use bidding, right? That's not really, but it's a good thing to just kind of put your head around. So clients or prospective clients with pretty good cases like a hurricane, and shit, this stuff is happening all the time, man, as the world melts. So a hurricane for a house, good case for somebody not you, right?
Absolutely.
But that gets posted on this place, and lawyers can go there, and it's different. It's lead gen, but different than lead gen because it's not bullshit.
Well, it's almost an intelligent, a more intelligent PPC campaign if you want to go there. But it is essentially, you're right. And look,
it's already somebody has come.
That's right.
And look and said, I need a lawyer. So one law firm like yours has said, this is not for me, but this is a good case for someone else. And the prospect goes to Hire Me Legal, and we've already been experimenting with your website on how to, and successfully and easily, I don't want to say rejected, but moved them very carefully and very lovingly and empathetically from Voss Law Firm, which they came there because of either a brand or you've paid for it in some way, and we can't take the case, but here's a place where you can go, and we've seen them travel there and post their cases there, and lawyers can go pick them up. Well, simple as that, right?
Well, it is. And what's interesting that kind of sets it apart from, say, at my firm, by the way, I don't do much PPC work, but what sets it apart from that is these are hyper-targeted, right? And so if you're a PI lawyer in Houston, you wouldn't really be put on notice or really be aware of, unless you're looking at our marketplace daily, which some lawyers do, because you're not getting notice of that post unless it is in your marketplace, in your practice area, that you outline for yourself when you set up your profile. So you're
notified.
You tell the system, I'm a PI lawyer, I'm in Houston,
right.
I'm looking for these types of cases in these markets. And when somebody posts a case like that, you're going to be notified and be able to link over via email and see that post and submit your credentials.
Yeah. And we already talked about this, that we're going to take this one step further for our clients and be adding our own clients to Hire Me Legal. And have, because there's SEO benefit, the link juice, the reviews, and I really like where you're going with this thing. And I mean, you're a smart guy. This is a smart guy, everybody. And if you haven't checked him out, you should. He's doing a lot of very cool things. A very smart lawyer and businessman.
Well, thank you. Yeah, thank you very, very, very much for that.
This is going to be really cool stuff. So, and really, it's designed to, as we said, customer first, getting the client to the right lawyer. You want to be on that right lawyer list.
That's right. That's right. Look, to me, in my mind, it is really, really simple, and I've said it 3 times today. It's, if we're doing right by the client, then everything else will work itself out.
Yeah.
And everything we build, every company that we're involved with, it is customer first, period.
So before we wrap up, I wanted to, because I think we covered everything.
Yeah, that's great.
Good. I wanted to just talk a little bit, because we touched on it when we were having a break here, about law firms or individual solo practitioners going all in on plaintiff personal injury stuff and not doing transactional pay the bills type of business. Do you have an opinion about that you'd like to share?
I do. A couple of opinions. I was mentioning that I just read an article about Warren Buffett, and he gave 7 or 8, pieces of advice. And number 5 or 6 was, in one sense, you don't want to limit yourself to one source of revenue. Okay. And so in that sense, somebody could argue that it's probably okay as a lawyer, if you feel like you have the expertise and the ability to handle somebody outside of your core focus, then, good for you, right? But as we know, if we're honest with ourselves as lawyers, we're really best serving our clients if we're staying focused and becoming very, very, very good at a very, very specific topic. The thing you taught me on day one, and why I came on board day one, and I'm still here today, is you explained very clearly the importance of your clients feeling like understanding that you're an expert at something. And so if lawyers, and by the way, you need to do that without talking about yourself. That's a hint.
Yeah.
But if you can do that, or if you're really honest with yourself, I think it's difficult to say that you're an expert at PI work and transactional work. I think that's difficult, right? So really it depends on perspective. It depends on what year you're in with your practice and what experiences you've had in your practice. Mm-hmm. Everybody's different. Everybody's different. And so I just know what works for me. For me, what works is I want to be niche. I want to be an expert. I want to be kind of the go-to guy for this one particular type of case. So when I'm talking to my clients, I'm actually representing that I'm qualified to work for them. I can stand behind that, right? But for others, I know tons of lawyers that have a decently diverse practice. If you have a good transactional practice and you were sitting across from me today and you were asking for my advice, be the best transactional lawyer you can be,
right,
and drive business that way, right? And if you have clients that you're attracted to, it's probably okay to try maybe 1 or 2 to see, but to push all in, on a separate and distinct practice area where you're not an expert, I think can be dangerous.
And it doesn't necessarily serve people well.
It doesn't.
But what you just said is really important about, letting people know that you are the best. Because the reality is, maybe you have superhero powers as a lawyer, Bill Voss. but you know what I'm saying. Like, what's the difference? It's not like you have some kind of like giant legal superpower. It's how you take care of the clients that makes the difference. And ultimately, it's what your clients say about you that people pay attention to. It's what other people say about you, not what you say about you. And so one of the best ways, obviously, testimonials and reviews. Google knows this. That's why reviews are so huge. That's why you have reviews, and that's part of the reason why you've constructed Hire Me Legal like this. And you've got, the success stories. Like, you need to hear, people need to see what other people have experienced with you. That's what motivates us. So one of the best successful things that we've seen recently, not just recently, but over the years, is the success stories where you, as the lawyer, tell the story of your client. Your client is the hero, and some of you heard me say this. It's like Luke Skywalker's your client, you're Obi-Wan Kenobi telling the story of Luke. And people are like looking at Luke and saying, oh yeah, that's what's happening to me, and like, oh, I'm just as much of an idiot as he is. And everybody comes to the same conclusion that, oh, well, Obi-Wan Kenobi is the real person that has made all this happen, which the lawyer is. And that's how you're able to, I'm doing air quotes, brag about yourself or your successes, but talk about it in ways that you're proud of your client's journey.
Just one comment. Listen, for what it's worth, nobody cares about how awesome you are except your mom.
Yeah.
Okay. I'm just telling you. I mean, it's true. The moment you spend
and yourself.
Yeah. The moment. Well, look, I think lawyers and doctors, and I'll probably get some hate mail for this, but lawyers and doctors, they have a hard time with that, right? Yeah. They have earned, a degree, and they've done right by a lot of people, and done a lot of good, and they should feel very, very, very proud of that. Okay. But, feel good around your family, I mean, it's not about us. It's not about me.
Right.
It is about the client. It's about the
what
client.
Your job is.
That's right. Our to shepherd the client through the process as comfortable as possible and try to get the best result you can for them.
Yeah. Well, there's a lot there. And Bill, it's always a pleasure to talk to you whenever you get over here again come to DC to talk to your powerful Washingtonian people that you're doing. Come in and visit with us. I'm actually going to be in your neck of the woods here this weekend, but next time. What is the ranch? Is that your place? What is that?
So we have a ranch in Navasota, Texas. It's about an hour from where we live, and we host out there all the time.
Wow.
So it's from where you're going to be. It's probably 2 hours. It's not very far at all.
I have to do better logistics next time.
You can see a video of it at gmrgold.com, by the way. So you should go watch that video.
So those of you that don't know, you got to get in Bill Voss's world. So go check him out. Just get to know this guy, because he is he's a pretty young lawyer that is doing a lot of, what do you got, like 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 businesses?
A couple we didn't mention.
Yeah, and you got other ones in the works. I don't want to hear any more excuses about you don't have enough time in the day to write content.
That's right.
I mean, this guy's doing just fantastically successful law business, managing the other lawyers and managing these other business, flying all over the place with a smile on his face. He's a happy guy. So, well, there's something. So, I mean, maybe we're done.
We're cut off. That's it. That's it.
Bill Voss, thank you so much, brother.
Well, Tom, thanks for having me. I really do appreciate it.
Okay, everybody, that's it for episode 9 of The World of Marketing. Thank you very much, Thomas Foster, our excellent producer, for getting us through another episode. Bill Voss, see you soon.
All right,
Live long and prosper.
Amen.